One of the things that I think we and other media need to start doing is preparing the American people that there's nothing illegitimate about this election taking additional days or even weeks to make sure that all of the votes are counted. If one of the candidates in any of the races claims victory before there's a consensus result, then we're going to add some informational context to that post directly, saying that there's no consensus result yet.
If we went to mail-in balloting, our election all over the world would look as a total joke.
We don't want them to do mail-in ballots because it's going to lead to total election fraud. So we don't want them to do mail-in ballots. We don't want anyone to do mail-in ballots.
They're using COVID to try and get the mail-in ballots. Now, absentee ballots are great. Absentee ballots, they have to request them. They go through a process. They get them. But the universal mail-in ballots have turned out to be a disaster.
Michelle Obama announced today, due to the coronavirus, she and her celebrity group, When We All Vote, is endorsing mail-in ballots and early voting coast to coast. They're supporting Amy Klobuchar's legislation that would require downloadable, printable mail-in ballots, no excuse absentee voting, and 20-day early voting. Laura, what could go wrong?
No serious person at the national level has ever suggested doing that before because, of course, it would instantly destroy the public's faith in election outcomes and hence our democracy. But if there was ever a time to sneak something this disruptive past a beleaguered and distracted population, this is it.
There's no evidence that there's massive fraud.
No evidence of that, and there's a bipartisan movement in this country, Republicans and Democrats, looking to find a way to ensure voters can vote, even if we're in a second wave of the pandemic. Mail-in voting is going to be part of that solution.
In the last 20 years, there have been exactly, all right, wait for it, less than 150 cases regarding fraud through mail-in ballots.
There were ballots, because Nevada mass mailed them out to voter rolls, that were piling up in apartment complexes, outside of apartment complexes in Las Vegas, sitting around in trash cans. This is how we're protecting ballots. It's extraordinary. Postal workers, one 36-year veteran carrier said she's never seen anything like these influx of absentee ballots.
The left and the media says that there's no fraud. True or false?
That is completely false. Anybody who's pushing all-mail election, I think, doesn't realize the inherent security vulnerabilities of absentee ballots or all-mail elections, because you're basically taking the election process outside of polling places that are supervised.
Mail-in ballots for South Carolina turned up in Maryland. There's another example of 700 suspicious mail-in ballots in Dallas, and an individual charged with second-degree felony illegal voting. And he's accused of visiting a woman in April to collect her blank absentee ballot, filling it out and forging her signature. I mean, this is extraordinary.